Hi, everyone. Okay, in this series, we have covered quite a lot about running your business. We have encouraged writers to take off their creativity hat, take off their writer's hat, dismiss all those limiting beliefs that they have given themselves, break those, in fact, if they can, and put on their entrepreneur hat, their business hat. You are a business, you are running a business. And we have talked about your 5-year business plan. We've talked about why 5 years and how to manage that plan, how to rewrite that plan. We also looked at action plans. We looked at, how to hold yourself accountable with your action plan. Use it to create a map, a step-by-step guide as to what you want to accomplish in that year. And then you reevaluate and you rewrite the next one. Every November, December time period is when you are usually working on your annual, pardon me, action plans, pardon me. Now, the next thing that we're going to be working on is our contingency plans, right? We want to look at all the what if scenarios, both in the business operations, but also in our communications and in every single activity and event that we're going to have. What if my guest is a no-show is a good one. What if my site gets hacked is another. What if one of my office equipment, expires and I need this item right now today? Do I have some contingency plan in place? If I'm going to do a book signing event and I'm concerned that, what if this happens? So, we want to make sure that we have our contingencies, everything that we think could possibly go wrong. We want to make sure that we try to plan a way of avoiding that or protecting ourselves from that. And if it does happen, what's going to be our response? Okay. Then there's also the succession plan. You're like, who's going to get the rights to my books, my unpublished works? Do they have access to my passwords? Do they have permission to do this or that? Who's going to run the business if I get sick? What if I pass away? If my business does well, and maybe will I be considering selling it, or maybe handing it off to my child? Does my child even want it? Also, my business partner, what if my business partner passes on or moves away or becomes disenchanted with the business, or who gets their rights, their portion of the work that they've done so far in the business? How is the business going to dissolve should the partnership go haywire? And all those other types of succession plans and contingency plans that need to be put in place. So we've kind of covered all this already. We've also touched on, when you have a partnership with anyone, whether it's a bookstore or a fundraiser or, a nonprofit, and you're working at fundraising, or a place where you're going to be putting up your booth, wherever it is, whoever you're working with, you want to have a mini signed agreement. It could be just, a couple paragraphs, one paragraph. Doesn't really have to be too massive of a legal thing. You just basically want something that where you both sign and you both feel protected. So you want to say, who's going to do what, how the company will be dissolved, or how the contract or the project will be dissolved should something go haywire, and just protecting everyone involved. You might want to put in there, geez, if you are going to be doing a fundraiser of our books, we'll certainly purchase those books back at our, the cost that we sold them to you at, as long as they're in good condition and you're responsible for theft. Simple, right? Really super simple contract that you're signing for that particular fundraiser. There's another aspect of the business that I want to touch on today that has a direct impact on your business plans, your contracts, and your partnership agreements. And in fact, it has an impact on every action that you do in your business, every single action that you do in your business. And so we're going to talk about these things. You need to know what your desired call to action is. So when you're putting out a blog post, or you're putting out a message on social networking site, why are you doing that? What are you hoping to get out of that? What is the result that you want to do from that? And are you communicating that well to your people? So take a second look to see what you're looking for. For instance, maybe you're looking for networking connections. Maybe you're looking to gain exposure to a target audience that you haven't had exposure to yet. Maybe you're looking at growing your contact list. Maybe you're looking at drawing attention to an article you've written or an interview that you've just participated in. You're sending people that way. Maybe you're trying to, gain partnership or networking opportunities or whatever you're doing, a communication that you're having with someone that's already on your contact list. Whatever it is that you're doing at that moment in time, what is the purpose for that? And are you communicating that desired call to action clearly? So we also want to look at data gathered from our available analytics, or through examining things like, say, in the case of advertisings, we're going to look at, like, say, our click-through rate, or say maybe our sponsored posts on Facebook or LinkedIn or something like that. We would look through the click-through rate, and that would tell us how many people actually clicked on the post, the ad that we put out, and went to the site that we were sending them to. From there, it's a whole nother thing, but we would be able to tell how many people actually responded to our post by looking at the click-through rate. We might look at something like our return on investment, and we also might look at key performance indicators. I'm going to talk about those a little bit later, but these are tools that we're going to use to evaluate how well our current activity has performed. It's going to, like, reveal results. Did we get what we were hoping for? Did we get more than we were hoping for? Did it fail? Were there some unexpected results, unexpected happenings? And can we maximize on any of this in the future, or change things, tweak things for the future based on what we determine that success or failure is attributed to? So I'm going to give you an oversimplified example just to show you how this works. I have a Just for Writers blog post series called Just for Writers, and it's published around mid-month on the Brummets Conscious blog. And I want to boost that on social networking sites. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go on Facebook, let's say, and I'm going to create a Facebook post where I'm sharing the link. Now, if I just share the link to my Just for Writers blog post, then it's okay. But I really want to look at this from a Purple Snowflake marketing view, meaning what draws their eyes to my post. The font, the language I'm using, the amount of white space that I allow, the image, the colorful background, all that plays a role in getting my post to stand out like a purple snowflake in a snowstorm of other social networking posts. I had to throw that in there because we specialize in Purple Snowflake marketing, and we even have a book on the topic, Purple Snowflake Marketing, How to Make Your Book Stand Out in a Crowd, on Amazon. So please do check that out. Now, what we're looking at here is, when we're looking at that call to action, we might say, oh, I'm going to communicate this in the dialogue. And we're going to say, check out the great marketing resources that you can use at no cost today. And that's going to encourage them to take a look at the link. Oh yeah, I'll click that link. And then they'll go to that blog post, and the blog post might have one or more call to actions, such as leave a comment, ask your questions, check out this link, follow us on these sites, drop by our landing page. There could be a multitude of different types of call to actions depending on what we have going on. And then the blog post might, encourage people to share it or comment on it or like it, or whatever it is that we're asking them to go from there. So I'm going to go back to that social networking post on Facebook that we're just talking about. I had just released to the public on Facebook an announcement about our blog, our special blog article that goes out around the middle of every month called Just for Writers. So I'm really excited about it. I put a note out there to my Facebook friends. Now, my key performance indicators, my KPIs, if you hear anyone say KPIs, that's what that means, key performance indicators. My key performance indicators would then be the number of people that responded to the post. Are they liking, sharing, sending some love? Are they, have they actually, have I noticed an increase in blog readership numbers that day? And that's where I'm looking into the analytics of my blog server, who provides me maybe that day's stats compared to yesterday's stats. So I can see, oh yeah, from compared to yesterday, definitely had more today. So my promotions are probably working. Maybe I might think, gee, I wonder how my promotions are working from Monday to Monday to Monday. I might look back, 6 Mondays and then compare that to this Monday and just see, if the traffic has flowed differently. Maybe Mondays are typically really busy, and maybe that shows that my post didn't necessarily have the results that I was looking for. So it's sort of a guess, but we can see some of the numbers there. We can look at the return on the investment. In this case, would be like my blog readership has increased. I'm getting more readerships on my blog. Therefore, I get a return on my investment of putting that post out on Facebook. It took time, it took energy, took thought to put that out there. And now my return on investment is going to be that. Once they're there on the blog, though, it is my job to entice those readers to check out other links or previously published content, or to drive them to some other call to action, to browse various pages, to link, follow other links, to purchase a product, to reach out to us, to keep coming back, etc. Now, I realize, though, this particular example is super oversimplified because we're talking about a blog post that I'm promoting through one post on Facebook, but you can see the thought that goes into it. And what you want is, you don't want to just send someone to the blog and they go there and there's maybe informative article and they, that was really interesting, they read it and then they leave and they never come back. You want to keep them there. You want to nurture that relationship. That door has been cracked open now for that relationship to blossom and grow. And it is up to you then to take it to the next level, to encourage them to keep coming back, to follow through, to see all the wonderful content that's on that blog going back to 2008 on the Bremitz Conscious blog, and how much educational material, inspiring material that is there for them to follow up on, and all the great networking and promotional opportunities that we offer our readers and partners and clients as well. And so they get to sort of explore all of that while they're there, and they want to keep coming back, maybe bookmark us and that kind of thing. So it's up to me to take it to the next level and to keep the chain going from there with that person, the chain of communications and interactions with that person. But getting them there to the blog was my main goal with that Facebook post, right? So I measure those return on investment. I look at my key performance indicators. If I happen to have stats that are showing me my click-through rate, I'm going to be looking at those. I might also look at a stat that they have out there where you say, okay, click-through rate, they went there, but did it lead to a sale? Or did it lead to someone actually signing up on the contact list that we're trying to build? So yeah, they went to this page, but did they go and do the action from there that we wanted them to do? Did we actually get the result that we were looking for? So there are ways of setting that up, business wise. That is getting kind of overcomplicated and really into the nitty gritty of watching the numbers. For most of us, it's not that important. We're just looking at, am I getting the results that I wanted? And did I make every effort to ensure that the results that I was looking for was made more possible? I made it easy for them to do what I needed them to do. And that I then, once they did that, I then nurtured that relationship from there. Okay. So hopefully this will improve how you're approaching every action, every task that you're taking on in your business from now on. Thank you everyone for joining us today.